Today I'm here with Harrison Kyle Jones, a U.S. Navy veteran that honorably served from 1973 to 1980. Kyle is here today to share his journey from the military to discharge to the unfortunate post-service circumstances that ultimately left him homeless, and his recovery that includes housing permanence through the supportive services of Dwyer Project peers. I thank you, Kyle, for sharing a very personal story with us.
Hi, instead of that long name that I have, you can just call me Kyle. I was a submarine veteran during the end of the Vietnam era, and then during the Cold War, and I served in submarines doing missions that I cannot describe. I'd have to kill you before I could tell you what they do. However, other than that, I had a reasonably good career as an IT consultant and technologist. I was a software developer. Had electronics training in both the high school and the military, and I was in charge of various development groups and technical support groups and things like that. My last job was working for the U.S. Census Bureau doing their technology for the 2010 decennial census. And right after that, I went through a period of joblessness and depression and things going on with my family. My father died, and then my mother got sick, and she died. And I ended up in a position where I ended up homeless because of these issues. And I came to the VA to get help, and they first found me a place to live in the Salvation Army place, which is now managed by Beacon House. And then I went to Beacon House Housing, and I slowly became better there. Besides being homeless, I had some psychological issues and some drinking issues, and so I had to work my way through those things in Beacon House, and they did a fine job of taking care of me. And while I was in Beacon House, I got to be introduced to a meeting they were having in Beacon House for the Joseph P. Dwyer peer-to-peer group. And although they labeled it a PSTD, what is it? The name of it? PTSD group, it was more than that. It was for all veterans, and it was about becoming in contact with other veterans and dealing with your own issues and discussing things that could help you to become better and survive better in this world. It wasn't just about homelessness, it was about veterans becoming stronger and being able to support each other in terms of what they need to do and how they need to do it. And I can't say more for the group other than I've still belonged to the group here in where I live now, which is Liberty Village, which is a veterans apartment residence for various veterans who were homeless before generally. And I've managed to work with the group here, and we've had some great times and discussed some great things. We've participated in the health and wellness thing that the Dwyer group does, but we've also done things like have entertainment nights for the rest of the village, and we tried to arrange things like bowling and other things. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. And we had women come to the group, and we've had a lot of different veterans come in and come out of the group. And it serves to help us, and it serves to help the community, the village here a little bit in terms of keeping people together and facilitating various things. It's a true power to have this type of communications in a group. And when I was in the Beacon House group, I've started with Beacon House meeting group there. And the director, Marcel, was my facilitator, along with a guy named Dennis. I don't remember what his last name was. Dennis Demers. And they were fantastic in terms of organizing things, setting up programs, ideas of how to deal with each other and how to become better in what we do and how we do it. They managed to get us fed, which was nice too, and I want to always thank the Blue Star Mothers for their help in that area, because it is nothing more important than having a well-fed veteran. I can say that for sure. And as you can see, I'm apparently well-fed. The program is fundamental to what we need, and I can't see any place where such a program doesn't help, because if you get veterans together, you get them talking, then they can work out their issues, and ways and means can be found for them to solve their problems. And it just seems to me that this is probably one of the most important programs for veterans that I've ever seen, and I would never give it up. And even though I sometimes don't show up for a meeting, it's always very important to me and very, very much in my heart. And I guess I'll leave it at that.